Hey guys, okay, so today I decided I was trying to think like, should we keep going with real world applications? Should we kind of stop and review what we've done thus far, proportional reasoning? And I decided to put on the brakes. So we have looked at verbal descriptions. I guess we really, even before that, we started with just numbers. I just gave you a ratio and a ratio and asked you if they were equal. Then we moved on to real world scenarios. Then we moved to tables, then graphs, now equations. So I thought, man, this would be a great time to just review those different things to refresh your brain at how we can not only connect all of these. That's not the goal of today. Is just make sure you feel good about every single representation that you see. Okay. So if I zoom in here. This is actually, it really is more an activity versus a set of notes because it is review. That's why it's not cut out all pretty in my notebook, but this will go in that digital notebook too. What we're going to do is I'm given two different examples of each type of proportion, okay? One of them is proportional, one of them is not, and it is my job to prove it either way. So I'm going to go ahead and do the basic. I think I'm going to let you guys I'm going to let you guys do the verbal. And how about the equation since we just, oops, sorry, you can't even see that at the very bottom since we just did the equations. Actually, we haven't gone over it yet, or we wouldn't have by the time you see this. So we're going to go graph instead, okay? Change my mind. All right. So for these basic ones, remember you have quite a few options. I'm going to refer to your notes since it is review of how many different ways I showed you how to determine if something is proportional, right? The unit rate method, make a table if you want, find a common multiplier, reduce them, divide them, turn them to decimals. There's so many different ways we can do this. So when I see some ugly numbers like this, I'm going to go ahead and just divide them. I'm literally going to divide 0.6 divided by 4.5 and write down that value. I'm going to see if it's the same for this one. It's not. Okay, so I'm going to hope that this one shows that it is proportional because this one's the I know. This one is not proportional. We're going to circle the ones that are. All right, so I have 0.6. Oh, I guess I already did that one technically. There we go. 4.2 divided by 31.5. There we go. Those two are equal. Therefore, those are the ones that form a proportion. So I'm going to circle this one. Circle the proportional rates. Okay. Now again, there's other ways to do that. And every once in a while, you'll see some pretty numbers and you can use that common multiplier. But that dividing works regardless if they're pretty or ugly or anything in between. Okay. I'm going to skip the verbal description. I will let you guys determine if which one of these is proportional and which one is not. Okay. I'll show it to you at the end. I'll kind of zoom out so you can see them so you don't have to worry about freezing it right now. For the table, remember you can try to find a common multiplier or divisor. You can take one of those numbers and put it over the other one, making those ratios. So 1/14th, 2/20th, 5/70th. Okay. Now I need to reduce these. Ooh, 3 times 5 going to 70. So it looks like these two match, but this one does not. 1/10 is not the same. These are all dividing by 14, except for this guy is dividing by 10. And because those numbers do not match, this one is not proportional. Now this one looks kind of scary. The numbers are gross, but probably did that on purpose, right? So use that technique where I divide by 14. Divide by 14. Now I really don't even have to do this because remember that literally shows 20 divided by 14, right? And so the only one I need to check is 77 divided by 14. 5.5. Yay, we all worked. That is my proportional table. Okay. Excuse me. You guys are going to look at the graphs to tell me which one is proportional, which one is not. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the equations. It's kind of good to like review that homework. I know you had to graph the points on your homework, but still had to determine if it was proportional or not, right? Or did I make you do that? No, I don't think I did. It just, you could use that as a clue to help you. So hopefully from our exploration, you still can recall the quick way to determine if these are proportional or not. Remember, you're looking for the form y equals kx. And k has got to be a number. It's actually the unit rate of every equation, or excuse me, of every situation. And we'll do that more when we get to real world situations, okay? So I see the y equals on both. In fact, I'm going to color code this so you can see. Y equals is on every single one of them. I've got a k, which is that number coefficient in front. And then I'm supposed to have just a plain x last. And that's where I don't have it on the second one, right? This squared changes the ball game. Okay, so that one is not proportional. This is one of those that would be that U-shaped if you tried to graph it. This is our proportional equation, okay? So I'm gonna zoom out like as promised. And there we go. You have the verbal description and the graphs. I'd like you to determine which one is proportional from each pair, okay? And I will see you soon for our meeting.